Hi, this is Surendra. I'm a graduate student at Humphreys University, and this presentation is mainly for MBA 307 Microeconomics and Decision Making. This is the first slide, which gives an overview of perfect competition. Now, in perfect competitive market, firms generally do not have any regulation over the price. Prices are generally fixed, and they do not control the price, and they don't have any influence over the price. Products will be like identical. So the customers don't have any preference in their mind to select which firm for which product compared to another. As I said, like there's no variation with the price. So it's kind of like easy entry and exit market into the market. So firms, they can't make any long-term profits in this particular scenario, in this particular situation where there's having a perfect competition. Now, a good example to explain this particular scenario is like let us consider an farmer who basically produces and harvests mango and sells to wholesale buyers. Now, in this particular scenario, the wholesale buyers all generally will be having a fixed price. They don't have any influence over like which price to opt or like which price like to give to the farmer. So this is the perfect competitive environment where all wholesale buyers will be having the same price and nobody has a hand more compared to another. And in this slide, I would like to explain mainly about diminishing marginal returns in production. You see, the law of diminishing marginal return means it's basically like adding more of one input, whether it can be of any factors like labor, let us take for example, eventually leads to a reduction in the overall output. Now it happens like when other factors in the productivity, like whereas like capital or like any infrastructure or other key components are fixed, and only one particular component has happened to be like increased compared to others, then there'll be like a reduction in the additional output, which is basically meant by the law of diminishing marginal returns. In short run, these companies, especially like who are generally produces ready-made and customer goods, they'll be facing this kind of issue very often. And the shutdown rule also quite applicable here. Now, for example, like if the price falls below average variable cost, that is AVC, the firm need to be like temporarily shut down in order to sustain. Now, to explain this particular scenario, the best example can be like let us take a small bakery. Now the small bakery is sustainable when like there is just sufficient number of uh, bakers in the kitchen. But what happens if the number of bakers happen to be like increased at once in the kitchen? So the output per worker like will get dropped, right? Basically the first few employees they will help boost productivity, but with too many employees, then like workers get in each other's way, disrupting their schedules and their duties, and the output per worker drops, which is basically like signifies the law of diminishing marginal returns in production. In this slide, I would like to explain how long run behavior in perfect competition like will be uh, seen, like how it can be like perceived and observed. Since in this particular scenario, the firms are generally enter and exit freely, any economic profit in short run will be having a new competitors, because this is most exposed to outside competitors where they're gonna like have this kind of an understanding that they'll be having like more profits if they enter into this market. So in that way, like more companies and more firms like will enter into this uh, in this free competitive in this perfect competition. Now more supply, which tends to like lowers prices, which also ultimately eliminates the profits in long run. What's left is the normal profit, which is just uh, covers the operational costs and regulation costs. And firms just have to focus on like how to make efficiency, how to make innovative products, and not just like just keep looking for pricing power. And the best example for this scenario is like if a new coffee shop uh, has been opened in the town, which is making big profits, then other people also like will have a look into that and will start opening like shops nearby, and ultimately the profits will be like push it down like for everyone, because now there are more number of options for the customers. This slide basically presents imperfect competition. Now you see in imperfect competition, the firms will be having a good control over the price, and this is known as like market power. That is called as market power. Now there'll be like mainly different types of like monopolies. Like it can be like uh, uh, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. Now firms can be segregated based on their products and creating a good customer base for each and every company, every firm. Now, the barriers for the entry and also like the like uh, high capital demand and also like legal protections, which will help to have a long sustainability in profits. Example, now let us take the Apple company, which basically produces branding, design, and ecosystem uh, integration, like which ultimately leads to develop the iPhones, and these iPhones are much in demand at the end market, and they'll be like bought at heavy prices by the customers. This what exactly meant by like imperfect competition, where like the firms don't have any control over the price. Now, this slide basically explains how the game theory and strategic behavior will be. Now, in oligopoly, where the few firms will be having a good control over the market. Now, they generally dominate the market and consider how competitors are like coming out with new ideas and how they have to be ahead of them. So they also start inventing or innovating their own ideas. So in that way, your decision making in your company will be much influenced by what others are doing. So you always keep an eye on what exactly others are doing and what how they are coming out with new products for the new year every year, and it's been like it's going on and on. That's how like this game theory and strategic behavior is, and this is has been so prevalent in almost most of the sectors in today's market. And also like they may avoid price wars, but also like they compete in another ways, like uh, advertising their products and also like spending more on R&D. uh, so like this particular game theory is, and you have to come up out and out with strategies like how to uh, defeat your rivals. This kind of like race will be like much prevalent and exist in almost each and every sector. Also, this is also one of the scenario that's being commonly observed in imperfect uh, market conditions, where the price discrimination will be shown in real world. For example, like the companies which make products will demand different price for different products. This is how it varies from from customer to customer. Now, it is quite uh, possible only like when the firm will be able to segment into the market and prevent the resale, and it is quite prevalent in industries like tech, travel, and entertainment, even in other sectors also. Now let us take for example, like when you book an Uber just charges a particular price when you ride with them during regular hours, but when you ride with them during peak hours, they're gonna come up with exorbitant charges. So in that way, the price discrimination will be observed over time based on the market conditions, based on the like situation. These are references I've used actually from Microeconomics for Managers and Appling for Investor Relations and Uber Technologies to study and to prepare this presentation. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Thank you.